There are endings, dear reader, and this is one. I have just finished Shadows Upon Time, the seventh and final book in the Sun Eater series by Christopher Ruocchio, and I have been a huge fan of this series. I've been a huge proponent of this series on all of my platforms. I constantly recommend it. It is one of my favorite series of all time, and it is currently my favorite science fiction series of all time. So, what did I think of Shadows Upon Time? Well, overall, it's a good book, a great book even, but I am left feeling a bit hollow. Before I go any further though, I just want to say this. This is a book that I think is going to work for a lot of people. I would dare say that this is a book that is going to work for the vast majority of Sun Eater fans. There are people in the Sun Eater fandom that are going to say that this is their favorite book. This is the best book, that this book is brilliant. And I do not deny any of that. If you love this book, just know that is okay. I am a man on an island. This is just my opinion. These are just my thoughts. This is just where the series leaves me. And I begrudge, Christopher Ruocchio nothing. I do think this book is brilliantly conceived at least. But overall, I'm just left a little hollow, a little dissatisfied, and kind of wanting more. So, let me begin with the negatives and then work into the positives. Starting off with the negatives is the fact that I just didn't love some of the choices in this book. There were some choices that Christopher made that didn't entirely make sense to me, or things that I felt inhibited the reading experience. There's something that happens early on in the book with the narrative framing device that I wasn't a huge fan of, and I thought it really slowed down the beginning instead of making it as explosive as I had hoped coming off Disquiet Gods. And then there are a few other choices throughout the book that I'm not going to get into because it would be spoilers, that I just thought were not great, at least for me. There were some choices made in order to execute certain plot twists or wannabe plot twists that I just didn't really vibe with. My mind is a steel trap, and if you tell me something 3 books ago that's going to happen or not going to happen, I am going to remember that. So when you attempt to subvert that or pretend to, I am just going to immediately be like, okay, but I don't have any stake in this, so I don't really care. Or you already told me this one thing, so unless you're contradicting yourself, which Christopher Ruocchio probably not going to do, then I don't really care about this event. And that happened many times in this book, where I think I came into this with just extraordinarily high expectations. And expectations are a damnable thing. They're a two-edged sword, even at the best of times. Because with the right expectations, you can like just about anything, in my opinion. But with the wrong expectations, even like the greatest painter of all time will not satisfy you. And I think for me, I just came in with too high of an expectation when it came to the Sun Eater series. I have adored all of these books. I've given all of them except for the first one over 9 out of 10s. And I expected this to be an absolute grand slam. I thought that this was going to be my favorite book in the series coming into this, with some of the stuff I had heard people say. I heard people hyping this up. I heard people say that they love certain parts, and I was hyped. I was just really hyped. And unfortunately, I think my own expectations ruined it for me, to be honest. I think I came in with too high of an expectation, and I unfortunately fell victim to my own thought process. And just not every decision in here worked for me. And unfortunately, the decisions that didn't work for me really did not work for me. I could not overlook the things that I saw as flaws. Now, are these things objective flaws? No. It's all personal, interpretation. It's all personal opinion. At the end of the day, I think most people in here, most creators, most Sun Eater fans are going to like this book. They're probably going to like it more than I did. But I just couldn't look past it, and I just couldn't quite get over that hump that I fell into. Having said all that, though, having said that I was disappointed and dissatisfied, having said that this is, not my favorite book in the series, I do want to preface all of that by saying that this book is great. That this book, despite having flaws, is still a fantastic book. And I think as a conclusion, it makes sense. Even if I don't entirely love the conclusion, even if I wanted more for Hadrian and his friends and his family, even if I wanted a different outcome, I don't think another one was available. And I think I do have to tip my cap to Ruccio. He really sticks his guns in this. He really goes there. And I just think like it's either going to work for you or it's not. And for me, it mostly did, but there were huge aspects where it did not. I think it is probably Hadrian's best book. I think it has some of the strongest writing in the series. I think it has 3, 4, or 5 chapters that are the best in the series. I think it has some of the strongest side character moments. I think it has some of the best antagonist moments. And, not to spoil it, but you know the name of the book series by now. The son does get eaten, and it's a fantastic scene. It's absolutely awesome. It's probably one of the best chapters in the entire series. It's great. I'm not even going to tell you what chapter it is, but it's an awesome scene, and everything that leads up to it is very tense. So I do think it's satisfying in those ways. But overall, for me, I think I had expected more. I came in with higher expectations, maybe even unrealistic expectations, and overall, I was a bit dissatisfied with it. So, where does that leave me? I'm giving it a positive review, despite all of my oh, I didn't love that, because it's Sun Eater, because it's brilliantly conceived. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, but I just want to say, for me, it didn't entirely work, but it is a great book, and I cannot deny that Christopher Ruccio is a very, very talented author. So hopefully that review makes sense.